minutes away till we get the EIA crude oil inventories data.
Good morning, good morning. Cass, I don't know why your layout's wrong. I don't know, man. Literally. Let's see what they do here as we push down into our pivots here again. Retest. Are you sure that it's not maximized? Which chart is the full screen? Are you sure it's not just like maximized like this?
One minute ago now to get the EIA crude oil inventories and the Bank of Canada press conference with Macklin.
Can I get those chart settings on Tradeify for footprint? For what? Some absorption here at our highs. Just watching as we push back down.
We have posted out the video for Bank of Canada's coming to Macklin with his press conference. $10 seconds to data.
Data in 10 seconds. Bouncing our 390. It looks okay so far, but we have to be careful as we push down.
draw of 7.27 million, 7.227 million, compared to the expected draw of 2.2 million. Gasoline inventories, a draw of a build of 0.186 million, a build of 0.186 million, compared to the expected build of 1 million. Distillate inventories, a draw of 0.20 million, a draw of 0.20 million compared to the expected build of 0.171 million. Cushing inventories, a draw of 0.801 million.
I would love to see this bid here at this 170 on NQ. Hold this, push back
According
up.
to a survey here, OPEC crude oil output falls more than 1.06 million barrels per day month on month in May, to the lowest in over 2 decades.
Need to see ES come over 395, or offer sits there, and we'll have to rotate back down to 379 first. So just a bit of an absorption. We've got this trader who's offsides a bit. Let's just give it a second. Clear absorption above us. We want to see how this settles. We've got a range here, right? This is a balance area on ES. And we have a offside buyer above us. And we have a buyer trying to bid here at our POC of our previous candle, but so far getting absorbed at a lower point,
We have
right?
posted out.
So just give it a second. We want to see how they hold here. We've got these sellers down here that are offsides. We'll be coming back down to retest this guy at 100 and ES into our 380. I'm looking for a bid here, ideally, as we push down into this low. Just give it a second. We're adjusting the news. I'm watching to see ES to see if it'll bid here. So we push down into this 380 at the bottom of our little balance here. I want to see them get taken in and then rotate. Watching 380. And ES here into our 100. I want to see how we react in the bottom of these ranges.
So we have posted out the weekly EIA crude oil inventories report on the feed for you to read through.
Really solid bid off our 100, pushing back up to our 180. Watch our offer there. We've got buyers offsides up into these highs. This will be where they try to sell. Good rotation off our 380, bottom of this balance that we've identified. We're watching to see if we put in a lower high here, right? So what we just did is this, right? Same thing here. We did one of these. We're now watching to see if we put in a lower offer as we push back in to see if sell side is going to sit here on retest and then push us down, or if we hold. Good bid, pushing up. I'm taking off 1 from our 380 on ES. NQ, this is your first risk off as well, into 180 from our lows. Let's see if we can flip back over 395, 390 for anything more. Same thing with this 180 here.
According to EIA, US stocks of crude oil in the SPR fall in the latest week to the lowest since August of 2023. Also reminded the Bank of Canada press conference, the video is on the feed for you to watch.
I'm watching to see if we can flip this high edge. If we can, should be able to take out highs. Same thing here on NQ. This is absorption here into 240. We need to flip that, but at least this is next target here from our low hold. Watching here into our highs as well, 402, 405 on ES. NQ new high, ES still holding, Russell still holding structure. Maybe potentially triple topping if we can't get over. Need to see this pop. Just move your stops up on ES. We got the low. Watching our pivot here on our side, right? We want to see buyers start to build here, like we have marked. We can see them trying. We want to see them actually be able to hold. Or we will just rotate once again. Remember, this is our balance here from 395 to 380. Need to show acceptance outside. T-Man, all of my Tradeify settings and charts are all searchable. I don't have this chart. This is in TradingView specifically, but all of my like charts and settings are all saved. Like, you can just like look up my name and find anything that I use. Balance holding so far on ES, no ability to push outside of our balance here that we've identified.
BLS nominee Matsumoto says that they will focus on research on alternative data sources to supplement or replace traditional survey data.
Again, we are just rotating in between. We are watching for offside liquidity outside of this yellow box. And we are rotating between these two until we see acceptance outside of this this box that I've drawn. That's all we've got so far. No ability to be able to push over this absorption. Continuing to hold here into our 240 highs. Just rotating back down now. Same thing with NQ, back to our 380. Just watching to see what happens here again. Remember, we've trapped liquidity again into these highs. You can see the buyers outside who have failed to push above. We're pushing back below now. So we'll watch to see if they hold on this edge on the look down, or if we just rotate it once again. Just balance. You go to community
BLS
indicators.
nominee Matsumoto says alternative data possibilities include payroll company data or tax withholding data.
And then module templates, and then just search SIG. Module templates, SIG. 15-minute footprint, 5-minute liquidity map. They're both there. Another bid off our 100 low, rotation back up. Remember, this is just balance here between 100 and 166 on NQ until we can flip above this 160, 180. And same thing with ES here at 380 to 395. You're just stuck here until we see a very clear ability to close below, and then offer either this edge or this edge above. You can see like the liquidity is, which is offsides above, right? There's someone clearly taking in sides up at these highs right now. And we can see that there's clearly someone taking in on a low, right? We just need to watch for the
Macklem
break.
says any Bank of Canada decision on possible rate hike is less about a timeline and more about conditions. Macklem notes that core inflation has ticked down.
I'm out 1 here from 80 again on ES. As we rotate back up to our 390, 395. I made these indicators myself. For trading view, yes, trading view.
Macklem says the bank would also look at inflation expectations when mulling a possible rate hike.
Into our 390, 395 highs. Again, we just gotta watch to see what we do up here. Just a range.
Bank of Canada is watching core components rising plus 3% for oil price pass through. Macklem says weakness of Canadian economy tends to put downward pressure on prices.
We have a minute 30 until new 15s. Still just absorbing in highs, holding in lows, no change.
Macklem says not a lot has changed since our last decision. There have not been big data surprises.
$20 seconds.
Macklem says there have been no big data surprises in GDP data. First quarter GDP miss largely due to government spending pullback.
into our bow low now. We'll watch to see if they take here and then push us back up, or if this holds offer and then rotates down, failing to get back above this buyer here. It is really important, if sell side is going to hold here, that we hold this edge into 86. Same thing with ES here, or on NQ. We're trying to hold this bottom of balance and reject here if we're going to continue downward off of that absorption at our highs. Really important that we now hold this edge if we're going to flip short. Watching our reoffer and push into this. Should get a little bit of a bounce here at 770s, 368, 370. And we'll watch this edge test. Same thing with ES here at our 100s. Watch as we push back into our edge. Very clear selling at this edge. Right, we get our bounce. Now watching for this retest and then seeing if we get this continuation down. Same thing on NQ. Right, we just absorbed into highs and we're now trusting at our bottom of our balance to now see if we can hold the lower high because we just failed at the highs, right? So now we keep an eye on this to see if we fail to get back into the bottom of balance and it now holds as offer. Testing now.
Malcolm says that the Canadian economy is not clearly in a recession. So again, based on data, the economy is weak, but not in a recession.
Pushing into our value of our previous candle here on NQ, watching our edge. We want to see buyers get absorbed here if we're going to hold this edge, right? We want to see these green guys get taken and then us push back down into this red if we're going to go down. If not, we'll rotate back up, trapping this liquidity outside of our balance. Watch our edge here at 380.
Malcolm says the economy hasn't really grown in the last year, but it hasn't shrunk either.
We want to see very clear absorption as we push into this. This is our edge. $380 holding so far. Needs to push and break that low though. We can see that these buyers are now off sides above, but we need to take out the low and see that sweep for that liquidity. We can see how we're building, you see? We're pushing back through that buyer that was at this lows, and we've now trapped at our edge high, but we need that follow through. We've gotten the initial reaction we want, 380, 386, like we talked about, into this big seller that's sitting here. Same thing here on NQ, into our POC to value of previous candle, into our low of our balance. Now we need to take out these lows for that continuation. This trade is already 7 points up on ES off of our 80. We need to break lows though for actual continuation. This should be your first risk off as we push down into 370 for 10 points on ES.
MEA are making a statement on attack on commercial vessel off the coast of Oman.
And then we look for continuation. We can see them trying to build this down now, right?
That's the Ministry of External Affairs of India releasing a statement on attack on commercial vessel off the coast of Oman.
Absorption called at highs. Shift is called here.
Bank of Canada's
Rotation
Rogers
below,
says risks to the
push
economy
down.
are about where we saw them last time.
Beautiful. You can see the balance that was identified here.
Energy Secretary Wright says oil returns to US reserve to start early next year. Nearly 100 ships have used Jones Act waivers. And this is White House Energy Secretary Wright speaking, testifying before the House panel. We'll get a video out on the feed for you shortly. So it's in regards to the India's MEA, they say 3 Indians on board vessel reportedly missing.
And again, this is just target. And then let's see if we can push through down to 50s if we break down below 70. Again, this entire sequence is we created a balance here.
Rogers says
Trapped
we've got the
outside.
rate where we think it needs to be right now.
Right, absorbed and trapped into highs. Held the low where we defended. And now we're retesting to see if we can breach this. If we can breach this and trap below, then we'll rotate down to here. If this holds, then we'll have to figure it out on next candle. We'll see. Just bidding off of these lows right now, but good break out of this range so far. Good points. Now we just need to see if we get continuation or if first target holds. I'll try to defend it here again. We'll see.
Iran's military spokesman Shikachi, in response to Trump's threats against Iranian infrastructure, says we've proven that we will respond to threats appropriately. Macklem says even with successful USMCA review, you can't be certain about anything. So we have posted the video of Energy Secretary Wright testifying before House panel on the feed for you to watch. Macklem says businesses are starting to adapt to US trade uncertainty.
Kind of sick, yeah?
Macklem says longer energy prices are high, bigger risk to overall CPI.
Continuing to just bounce off our VWAP here. Just interesting how reactive this is.
Just a heads up, Hexearth is currently speaking. We'll see if we can find a video.
The issue here is like, I mean, it's not really an issue, but there's just so much absorption into above us into like this 385, 400. And then we have this buyer who's trying to take in size here at 70, but I just don't think that they're going to be able to hold it, honestly. And there's so many people offsides above. And let's see what they do, but like there's definitely someone trying here at 70. If offer can hold this if sell side can hold this on retest like they're trying to, like you can see there's 934 contracts on the DOM there at 74. If they can try to like take in here and then push down, that'll be a really great sign if we can start holding this as a lower high here into 70, 74, that area. And then we'll probably push down to 60 would be my guess for another 10 points on ES. 60 to 50. That's just your 30-second opening range below. And our target here as we push down into this. That's a $1,000 trade from our 80 offer. Buyer trapped into highs, pushing down into target now. This is target. There you go. I'm out. You can try to hold for more. I only had one contract left because I was trading full-size minis instead of micros. I'm going to switch over to micros now, just so that I can start to scale. But again, that's a $1,000 trade on breakdown. I got a really bad fill here, so I just broke even on that one and then played the retest. Added 2 here, took off 1 to cover my stop here, and then took off another at 1,000.
S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 extend decline to 0.5%.
Again, there's no reason not to hold a runner. I
So
think
there's
we
no
can keep going
recent
down
news
if you
that's
have the
come out
ability,
to
but
lead to
I'm
the
going to be
decline
watching just to see
on
what
the
happens
S&P
here.
500.
So we push down into
Bank of
this.
Canada's Macklem says base case on USMCA talks is that they continue for a number of months. So now
I'm
as
switching
Euro
over
stocks
to
extend fall,
micros,
Dow Jones down 1%.
so I can start scaling. We'll watch for a they're trying to absorb into 50 to 60 now on ES. So I'm going to keep an eye on that as we push down. We'll have potentially one more leg as we retest into that 50 to 60. You can see them trying to take in size here. I'd love to see some sort of
BLS
bid
nominee
and then offer
Matsumoto
here,
says some
and then
of
rotation down
issues
to
leading
30.
to large, persistently negative job provisions could be issues
And
with statistical
NQ into
models.
this low at 760, 800, this low here, and then we'll watch to see what we do. They're trying to take in big size here on ES at 50 to 60. So let's watch to see what they do. Me 15s.
BLS nominee Matsumoto says decline in initial and overall survey response rates could mean sample becomes less representative.
I'm out half here in ES from 50 for 10 points. Into our target here on ES. I think we have to come back up to 60 before we can go down further. Watching as we push into this. See what we do. I'm expecting something like this. If we're going to hold. Same thing with ES as we push into like 56 to 60. Just watch our edge here. See what they do. Again, just watch on NQ here. See what they do. Into our 60 now in ES. We either, this is our low, and we flip back and go back up to our balance retest, or we'll hold here and then look for buyers to get absorbed into this, and then rotate back down, right? Trapping these guys, and then seeing sellers step in secondarily. We'll see.
Macklem says we use core inflation as a tool to understand how generalized price increases are. Macklem says if we start to see core inflation drift up, that will certainly get our attention. That concludes Macklem's news conference then.
No, nothing yet from me. Buyers trying here at our top edge, but we're watching to see if they get exhausted, and then we absorb, and then they're offsides, and then we rotate back through, just like we talked about. So far, bid caught into 969.80. Bit trapped, watching for a lower offer now to try to defend this to keep them offsides. So far, going to plan. Absorbed here, trapped now. Same thing on ES, trapped into highs. We're watching for sell side to now try to push us below. That's the key. We are balanced here in between. We knew that there was absorption here in both NQ and ES. We now need to see sell side show interest lower. Just because we absorbed into highs doesn't mean that we are going to still take it, right, and flip it. But we have an initial reaction that this is exactly what we wanted. Now we need to see sell side do something with it, right? We want to get below this value here on both ES and NQ. Show that interest below. I'm taking off half here on NQ from 480, pushing down. Watching our offer here, trying to step down. Just 40 into our lows from our 60 high. Need to flip that for more. Do you see how I initiated there on NQ? Does that make sense? Here, I'll post this in YouTube chat as well. Do we see the buyer who's offsides into that high? And then we initiated after we saw that and we pushed below, back below our 60. And then we played it down to 40. Does that make sense? Sorry, not 40, 80. 40 is next. Sorry, I'm looking at too many things. ES is into 40. Now we're at our 40. Out more. I mean, and like I said, like this is huge. Like I had 10 micros. I mean, I'm taking it. This is $1,000 trade on micros, just by understanding where that absorption was. And then we leave runners. Taking off half here on ES from 60. And now I'm in from the ties. You can literally see the people who are trapped.
So just a heads up, it's not confirmed, but apparently Trump is supposedly going to be making a speech at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time today. Again, not confirmed on his roll call, just kind of seeing some different bits of news being chucked out here, but we'll try and confirm it
I've
and
stop
update
set
the
at break
calendar when we
even.
can.
I've taken off 2/3. I will be right back. We're just into our bottom edge here in our 30-second opening range. We're seeing some absorption into 820 on NQ. Bid is now at
So Minor,
getting absorbed
with
at
that
860.
news of Trump told a speech at 5:30 that came from Iranian media. No US media has reported this, by the way. So we'll see if we can find anything about it.
I mean, boys. This is a 30-point move on ES. $200-point move on NQ. This should be your next risk off. This is our big pivot here on ES. And then you just leave a runner and let it be, man. If we can flip this on NQ, should get a reoffer where we establish below if it's going to do it. But I'd expect some sort of retest into like 800, 820 from here. We'll see. With ES coming down into our target. I mean, this is usually done for the day after this trade. Or the trade before this. Both have been absolute bangers. These is insane points. I mean, I have one micro left and I'm up $400 on it. We're watching for this reoffer here into our 800, 820 area. As we push back up, retesting this edge here. We'll watch to see if they hold this and then can slap this thing down. Testing it now. Russell getting a little bounce. Just watching what happens here into our 30-second opening range high. Again, NQ just into our 800, 820 area. Just watching, see if we can hold this and then get this continuation. $30 points already from 800. I'm risking off a little. So we retest our lows. Taking off a little bit more. Trade's now free. Stop at 835 on runners. Beautiful. Just added here and our 800, 820. Absolutely beautiful.
US stocks extend fall. S&P 500 now down 1%.
Later, Zeno. We're probably headed down to 520, 540 would be my guess on NQ overall, but we'll see. And here's the ES trade when I switched over to micros.
Heads up, Trump is now speaking live.
Oh boy.
Remember, the video is on the feed, and he's signing Secure America Act.
I mean, there's nothing new. I'm just waiting for us to come up and retest these edges again. Good reflexive bid. Seller a little stuck down at those lows, just coming back up to our offer here at like 60 on NQ again, right? POCs. This 50 to it's just like our NQ 30-second opening range, right? Low. I'm just watching to see like if this holds as we push into it. And we just wait for Russell to lose momentum. If there's no momentum loss on Russell, there's no short until we see that happen, right? Just stop yourself from overtrading. And we just watch to see if this previous day value high to POC is going to be defended here as we push back in. And I mean, there's no change on ES either. Just watching as we push back up into these sells. I know it might seem like a big move, but in the grand scheme of what we just caught, it's really not. Watch for offers here as we push into this. Watch to see if Russell loses momentum. Same thing with ES and NQ into here. We want to see some sort of trap or absorption and then, you know, like follow through if it's going to keep going down or if we're going to shift back up. See what they do.
Member of Iran National Security Commission says the Strait of Hormuz plan is ready. So Kasari says all necessary actions and reviews regarding Strait of Hormuz have been completed, and the National Security Commission of the Parliament has also finalized specialized work related to it.
Very two-sided here still. Buyer sitting at 820, 800. Seller sitting at 840, 860 on NQ right now. Just trying to recover our edge. RTY continuing to lead, holding day open. Again, there's no short until we see Russell lose momentum. We're just looking to see if we absorb into these areas that I've highlighted. And then if we can then float down from them. We already know that the buyer was absolutely ruined into 50 to 60 on ES. So as we push back up into that, I'm interested, but we are just getting into there now. And again, Russell's just into our pivot. Just a little bit of a bid, nothing crazy. We're watching for absorption in these areas, right? See what we do. There's been no shift in our trend. Just a nice little bid here from the lows, but now it's just a retest of our previous sells. Just back to our 820 here. Again, 800, 820 is where that bid is.
Fitch Rating says if the Iran conflict persists or global commodity volatility continues, we believe North American crude, LNG, and NGL midstream infrastructure will benefit. Offer trying to step down here to 20 where that bid was before. They got to get us below 800s. It's a battle now. You can see the offer literally like trying to step down into this bid. It's now just a battle of who's going to win it out. The sell side's not showing incredible strength yet. They're trying to shift it, but unsuccessfully so far, in my opinion. Russell continuing to push up, which is also helping with that potential weakness here. $40, still new 15s. Lower high on NQ. We want sell side to step below this 800 and hold from this 20. Still bid trying here. Russell still flat. There's a decent amount of absorption in this 40-45 on ES. Step below 800 here on the open new 15. I'd love to see a sell side try to hold this 800, 820 for clear hold and then push down. If we're gonna flip this bid. Good, good, good. Good so far. Russell starting to lead down with price. Watching our halfway back. Volatility is crazy. Russell hold of our halfway back caused that big pop.
Just retesting our 30-second opening range edge. I think sell side's getting a bit stuffed. We need to wait. I need Russell follow through. I really like ES a lot. Like the seller that's above into 40 to 50 is just so clear. We just aren't seeing initiation down yet. Very clear pivots on NQ still as well. Just want to see a bit more initiation from sellers now that we've held this. But the problem is like Russell is still just like holding where it needs to. So even if we're continuing to take in size like we want on ES into this 40, we are still just holding our pivot here on Russell. And I just gotta really see this start to show interest below our day open if we're gonna get this downside. We're absorbing where we needed to. We've trapped this guy here. Sell side is now trying to defend this edge on retest. That looks okay on NQ, but it's just very volatile range-wise. Yes, good hold, no change, right? Like there's just nothing there that's new. We've already identified this guy that's been into this 50 to 60, but they're trying to lower now into 40, 45. I just need Russell follow through and then we're good to go. I don't want to overcommit. Continuation, Russell looking below. Let's see if we get this next leg. This is the absorption that I was talking about. I think it's very easy to spot with the delta bubbles on ES. Look at that. Into that 40, 45.
BLS nominee Matsumoto says, I believe the CPI is inaccurate, so I believe the consumer price index is accurate.
We want to see like a pretty clear offer lower here for continuation down on NQ and ES with Russell now back below. Just keeping our eye on this, watching a retest. Sell side, I think, tries to sit into like 36.40 on ES. We need to step the below 27s off of this test.
According to information, OpenAI prepares new AI model. Defense Secretary Hegseth, now speaking, says Iran would be unwise to challenge the US further.
All right, testing into our 36 to 40 now. Let's see if we get a lower offer or if this is just not worth. I'd like to really see them try here with Russell holding like a lower high as we push in. If we
Also,
just fully
quantitative information,
retrace,
Sam Altman expects OpenAI to go public within the next year.
I'm gonna be very disappointed. Mm, 5 points so far from 36. See if we can breach lows or if this is going to hold 27s. We need to see sell side step below that really badly. I'd like to see a sweep to 23, and that would be your target until we can breach below. If you're playing off of this 36 to 40. This 27 is, of course, like first target, but sweep to 23 is what I'm like actually looking for here. There it is. Taken out half there to 23 from 36. So the way that I just did that is I mean it's pretty basic actually, but just to give you reference, right? Like, it's just value low. It's 23. It's like it's our known liquidity, right? So just use your brain. How do you know where to place your fixed ranges? I mean, you just look for the distribution, man. Like this is just like a new balance. So if we know that there's someone taking in size up here in these highs, I'm just like looking at this down leg and this up leg and this down leg, right? We're just like consolidating. So I'm just playing the inside candle consolidation on the higher time frame. A good way to look, Jess, is just play the last extreme leg down and then the consolidation that happened after that. So well, I'll always like take a measurement from here and then I'll pull it to the edge, right? Because then I'm looking at this balance that's basically happened from here to here. And then that'll be our profile for our last impulsive move. But really just like any consolidation that you see, you can just like pull it. And you can see like we're just holding value to value right now. Does that make sense? But like another thing that you can look at, Jess, if you don't want to do a fixed range, do you see how we're just trading within the value low and the value high of our previous candle? Do you see that? It's an inside candle. So until we breach a side and show someone who's offsides in this candle and can actually do something with it, right? We're going to be looking for rotations to occur between these two participants because it's an inside candle with a very clear like D distribution, right, on our profile. I just have like I have a visible range profile on, which is this profile that's on the side. So it's only showing me the volume for the candles that are displayed within my screen right now, right? So if I scroll out, my profile shape's going to change. You can see that. Delete. Do you see how it updated? So it's
More
different
from the
now.
information, Altman told
So
staff OpenAI is preparing to launch a tender very soon at the current share price. That share price is $687.69.
the way that I do it, Jess, is that I just have a fixed range on, and then the area that I care about, I just am scrolling like this so that I have that visual aid always for the most recent action. So you can see like this is the value high here at 60, and this is the value low here at 50, right? So we can see where we should be looking to respect balance basically within the candles that are on screen, which is the consolidation that's going on. So like, it's just like an easy way to like see that. But again, yeah, it's just the balance from our value low to our value high here. And then we'll watch to see what we do. If we can hold this flip above 40 on NQ and get over um like 45, we might actually be able to go up, not down. Just keeping an eye on it. We're testing our top edge now, right? So I'm just watching to see how we interact here up into our highs. Yes, yes, Yanni, yes. We're watching to see if we hold value high of our range that we just built. We just held our value low, right? So we just showed that there isn't a willing participant to take us lower. We are trading within a range, but I'm watching to see if we're going to break out because POC is below us on our previous candle and we're opening above value, right? So I'm keeping an eye to see if we're going to be able to hold here and here on NQ and be able to breach above our value high. We held our value lows, right? So if our bid is still desirable at the lows, I'm now watching to see if we're going to be able to put in a higher low to be able to push these highs and break out because we've shown no interest to go lower as of yet, right? So either we trap up here and then rotate back through, or we're going to look for a sustained bid above our previous candle's value to take us out of this inside candle. right? Are we going to hold our value high now or not? It looks like we want to. Same thing on ES, right? We're attempting. This is exactly what I was just talking about. We're watching to see what they do here into our edge. Big sell, holy shit. Watching our bid. I don't really have a ton of faith in the sell, I'm not going to lie to you, but let's see what they do.
Trump says that we will be attacking Iran hard.
Okay, maybe I have a little bit more faith now. Let's see what they do in retest.
Trump also says we have the right to resume attacks on Iran.
Just full value rotation here off of Trump. I didn't realize he was
Just
still
keep
talking.
an eye on the Dixie, just tiny movement towards the upside as Trump begins speaking about Iran. Again, says we will be attacking Iran hard. And Trump just citing down helicopter as a right to attack Iran. So further movement towards the upside on the
Watch our
Dixie.
retest.
The
It's the
downside
only thing that
movement on
matters.
the S&P 500, just a little bit more there. Oil starting to climb as well as Trump repeats what he said before yesterday that they'll be attacking Iran hard.
This is a pretty lackluster.
Well, yesterday
candle.
he says that we must respond to the downed Apache, and now just today saying that they'll be attacking Iran hard.
It's a pretty lackluster.
Trump and Iran
candle,
says they
so
should sign the deal.
I don't have a ton of faith.
Oil hitting intraday high, WTI trading near $91 a barrel. Trump says Iran should sign the deal. It's a good deal.
He's yapping. I'm watching for a better retest. I think we retrace a lot of this.
Trump and Iran says, I don't know what they're doing. Trump just reiterating that Iran shot at our helicopter.
Where was our helicopter? I'm watching 25 to 30 for a potential reoffer if we're going to do something new. Testing in now. If offer's going to hold, it'll hold here at this block that we've got at 25 to 35, 25 to 30. If not, we rotate the full range and retrace the entire move. Like I said, this was a pretty lackluster move. This is the only place I'd be looking to see if sell side is going to initiate here.
Trump on Iran says we want a deal that's meaningful and works.
I want this 25-30 to like very clearly hold. So far so good, but we need more initiation. I'm taking first
Trump
risk
says
off
on
into our
Iran that we're
lows
going to
here
hit
from
them
25.
again hard today.
Watching to see if we can shift below.
So again, Trump says we hit Iran hard yesterday and we'll hit them again today. They keep tapping us along.
I want to see us push down to 300 if we can take out lows here.
Trump and Iran also says we'll see what happens with the deal.
I've taken off first risk, like I said, into our lows from our 25 to 30. If we can flip lows at 310, should be able to go to 300. But if they continue to hold here, it might be GG if there's no desire. Into our 10, it's your secondary risk off, 300 for sweep.
Seeing US Brent crude futures extending gains after Trump says we're going to hit Iran hard again today. Brent last up about 2.7% and WTI up about 3.5% now. Treasury yields rise as Trump says US is to resume attacks on Iran. Trump on the round says, I'm not going to say whether we're going to knock out bridges and power plants. Seeing the Nasdaq 100 extending decline to session low of 1.6% after Trump remarks.
Not a ton of desire below 10s. Retesting.
Trump reiterating what he said in the past that on Iran that they have agreed not to have a nuclear weapon. All they have to do is sign the paper, adding it's fully negotiated.
Stop on remaining contracts is at 31 here.
So again, Trump says on Iran that it is fully negotiated and that they have agreed not to have a nuclear weapon. All they have to do is sign the paper. Trump says we're having a meeting with AI industry. So Trump on staking AI company says that we will meet with top 15 executives shortly.
We're about to get back into balance here if they don't reject very quickly. Full balance.
Also, Trump says we're talking with AI heads about giving back to the public.
This is our balance I just highlighted. I just got stopped. We'll do full rotations back up here, I think. We just failed at our lows, right?
Trump says public will become very rich from AI action.
Watch as we push into 40, 41, see what we do. So our value low reaches to this balance.
Trump on USMCA says that I'm not looking to renew it.
Gotta show desire over this. And we should go to 40 if we can. We held our lows, that was good. Just bounce value low there. But at POC now, need to be able to step above if we're gonna do this rotation up.
Trump also says that I don't know if I'm going to renew it when talking about the USMCA.
There's your higher
Trump
low.
says the US doesn't need anything Mexico or Canada have.
So again, this is just us entering our balance again, retesting our low, and then rotating up to our highs. That's
Trump
your first
says
take there
Mexico
into
and Canada
40.
must treat us better.
That is your first risk off. Again, first risk off there. If you played the flip. It is a full value rotation from a hold there. What just happened? Right, we just played value to value. That's what we just did. Value low to value high.
Trump on USMCA says we're talking to them. We'll see.
Later, man. So what did we just do? We trapped lows, got back into
Trump, when asked
value,
about
fell
possible
bid,
confrontation
coming back up
between
to highs
Israel
where
and
we sold.
Turkey, says I haven't heard about it. If so, I'll call Erdogan and make sure everything is okay.
Now let's watch to see if
As
they
such a
hold
thing will
and
not
pop,
happen while I'm president.
or if they rotate us down again. It's balance, right? So we take off into highs where we have known liquidity, and we watch to see if something new happens. What do we have that's different? Well,
As
we
Israel's high on
have this
knees.
really nice low that we've made on both, right? And we've entered back in and we've rotated up. What are we still in? We're still in just this balance that I have demonstrated for you, right? We need to shift above for anything new. Don't expect to break out until we see the ability or the desire to want to take out those highs. New 15s are opening now. We have a value to reference from our previous candle. We'll watch that to see what happens as we retest into it, right? And then if we can breach highs for continuation, or if this is going to fail and rotate back through value again. I don't have an answer for you. We'll see. Take profits where you can, right? We went to target. We did the thing. Now let's see what they do. That sell was stupid. I knew it was stupid. Now let's see what they do with it.
So Trump reiterating that Fannie and Freddie could be worth $1 trillion. Off the back of that, Fannie Mae spikes high after Trump comments, up about 1.3%.
Another 5 points here on ES, taking off another, took off 40 and took off 45. Now watching to see what we do. This is just where we sold last. So watching as we push in. This 45 to 55 is just like massive absorption on ES. We got to flip through for anything new. This is value of our previous candle here on ES. Watching our reaction into, I don't know, 30 to 25, basically. Just retesting as we push down. Russell showing a little weakness, looking to see if we can find a bid. NQ a little bit more volatile, harder to give you an exact level. Watching for ES and RTY to bounce at our pivots here. You can see on NQ, they've taken in a decent amount of buyers into these highs. We're watching to see if sell side can get absorbed here, and then we can rotate and hold above the 75 for continuation on NQ. or if these guys are going to remain off sides and sell side rotates us back down to 700, right? Can we hold these lows, rotate over, and then bid, trapping this liquidity here? Or is this going to continue to remain offer, and then we step down and then rotate back down to POC of that candle?
Trump asked about inflation data today, says numbers were great.
Again, watching this push down into our 30 to 25 on ES, seeing if we can hold here. POC attempting to shift.
Trump says we took out 22 Iranian ships the other night.
And this is Russell in the day open and our halfway back. So if we're going to get a bounce, I would expect it to be reactive here across the board. If we fail, right, it'll be pretty clear where we're going to go, which is just range down, back down to our value on our lows. So what's the thought process behind this? Well, we just recovered our value low and bid. We pushed up to our value high. We're now retesting POC. So if POC now holds supportive and we can push over our value high, then we have like a very clear breakout with a trapped trader below, right? That's the whole idea. Yeah. But right, like if POC doesn't hold, then we should just expect a full value rotation. So we have like a very clear ledge where we can watch to see if we get an honest reaction at our POC of this range, and then if we can pop over value for that continuation and look for secondary buyers, right? Like that's the entire narrative here. Remember, like that's again, we traded our value low of this range, traded up to our value high, now trading back to our POC, right? That's red line. We're watching to see if this is reactive, and then if we can step up, we then are able to then look for this value high to hold as supportive for upside. If this fails, right, we'll just rotate back through. There's no, it's either we find an initiative bid here across the board, or we do another balance rotation until Trump stops yapping, which might be the more likely outcome if I'm being honest. Let's see though.
Trump says, I think Iran will want to make a deal. Trump says on Iran that we have been taking out millions of barrels of oil. Says that we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil nightly.
Need a fact checker. True. Is he done talking? I wish, man. I wish.
That concludes comments from Trump.
Oh, he's done, Maldito. The yapper in chief. I'm stopped on runners below 20. And then I'll reevaluate. That's just a failure to hold value low if we do that. Just pushing into our halfway back here on Russell now, and again, just our mid of range. There's no reason for me to hold if we're gonna rotate the full range. Just watch to see what we do. We'll have much better initiative trades as when we can actually hold outside of value. So there's like no reason to overcommit or overtrade when we know our edges, right? Like there's just no point. Just we'll get another nice breakdown when we actually get out of here. You're getting your full rotation here on NQ off of the failure to establish above, right? We've trapped into our highs. We've rotated back down to our lows on NQ into the 700 to 670. Now we watch to see what our reaction is here as we push down into this target. Same with ES into our 316. It's just POC of previous candle. Big range. See if we get back over this 27. Or if it holds.
CONTENTCOM, US disables non-compliant vessel in the Gulf of Oman.
Just into our value low. Again, like once we actually are able to hold the outside, then you can do something new.
So the CENTCOM says that the US
Sorry,
forces
nothing.
disabled an oil tank in the Gulf of Oman for the second consecutive day after another vessel violated the ongoing blockade by attempting to transport oil from Iran.
Later, flippers.
So CENTCOM say they
Yes.
disabled the Palu flagged MT set bellow as it transited the Gulf of Man.
Yeah, like I said before, like if you're looking for better price action and better movement than your morning 2 hours in between 12 and 2, you're gonna have a bad time, right? So if you didn't make your money then, it's better to at least just leave for these 2 hours and then come back later. You're gonna have a much better time than trying to revenge trade your way back to success. All you're gonna do is give back money from 12 to 2. Unless you're patient. But you can't think about it the same way as that 10 to 12. That's just the money. Hold our value low so far, no change. Do you see how on our auto footprint, how it creates our balance area for us and it lets us know what's outside of value? And then all we have to do is just like we did at our highs, is look for trap traders above and then look for that reoffer and open below where that seller steps in. That's how we got this giant move to the downside this morning that we called, right? What are we doing here again on NQ and ES? Well, we've established a new balance like we've been talking about. And do you see how it auto establishes that balance with this box? That is what this is telling you. So you are just watching to see, are there any trap traders outside of value? And can we establish outside with our offer stepping down, or are we going to continue to rotate and trap on our edges? Right? So that's the only place we're looking to initiate. That is what these indicators are doing for you, is that they've established where that value is, and we're now watching to see if something new changes, right? Something new happens, or if this is just going to trap again below, rotate back through, trap again into highs, rotate back through, right? We just need to watch to see how we interact here. Again, it's very clear when cells actually are going to do something of use. Look at what happened into our previous high where this range formed, right? Look at the liquidity that we trapped above, and then look at the seller that stepped in at our mid to low. So if this is going to go down, right, we want to see a very clear hold, oh, wrong tool, hold, offer into this, and then rotation through, and then we'll head down to that 520 for that continuation trade. If this is going to fail, right, we won't see a trap here, and then we'll just rotate back up until we can trap enough liquidity on either one of these edges. But like, there's no need to overthink this. Just wait for the break and wait for that offside liquidity catalyst, and then look for that offer to step down, and then try to defend this edge for that continuation. If we continue to see no desire, then we're just going to do another rotation of our box. It is what it is. They're trying to trap here into this edge high. If they continue to take into this 27 to 35 area on ES, there is a very good chance of breakdown. That's what I'm watching right now on ES. Just do we continue to take in size here? And then can we take out lows, or are we going to rotate fully up? I need to see something new. This 27 is your first like hint if they're going to hold. Sell side trying to initiate now after initial look into these highs. You can see them now trying at our edge. No confirmation yet, right? No sweep down, but we are holding where we need.
So according to Can News report here on Telegram, they say about an hour ago, a B-52 strategic American bomber was detected on flight tracking sites heading from American base in Sicily towards the Middle East. The plane turned off its transmitter. The flight path is still unknown.
It's very clear the bid is still resting at 20. We're watching our 27 again. See if sell side is going to continue to take in size as we push up into those highs. This 27 to 35 is where offer is trying to defend and sweep below 320 for continuation. Again, this is just the bottom of our balance. We're watching to see if we can hold and trap these traders here at our edge, or if we're going to get the full rotation up. We want to see sell side start to initiate below these lows for that continuation. Or again, we will rotate fully back up. It is the bottom of balance. We need to trap them. Hey man, it's going well. We had a really good morning. Just watching to see what we do now here in this balance. Understandable. Yeah, don't trade when you feel bad. Good call. Just back down to our 20 here from our offer at 27, no change. Needs to sweep below this 20 for anything new, like we talked about. If there's no desire to push below this 20, then I mean, it's just gonna rotate back up. We need sell side to initiate into these lows. Yeah, there were some really nice trades this morning, big movement. Now just kind of chopping into lunch, watching to see what we do here at our bottom edge. Failure to hold this lower high is just going to oscillate us right back up to our highs. So until we see an initiative action taken at this edge below 20, you're kind of just in this chop between this offer who sits at 27 to 35 right now and this bid that sits at 20 to 16. NQ much larger range. We're watching for absorption into like 760 to 800 basically. And then we need to see it sweep below 710s for anything new. But 760 is your same kind of edge like 27s are on ES. Nah, I'm not. I mean, I had a very good morning. I just want to see if I get this breakdown. Or if we're just going to do another rotation up. Hey Fudge. It's a very good day. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. New 15s opening now. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely for sure. A lot of speed this morning. Oh, I said a lot of speed and volatility. Made for some nice catches. Where like even micros were like $400. Like $400 like single micro trades is like that's when you know it's a good day. Because of the volatility. I hope not, but it is about that time. It is about that time. I'm trying a short here on 27 to 35 as my risk for a push down, but I might get stopped out if we continue to fizzle out here. I'm trying to see if we get this break of our bow low here and hold. They're trying to trap, but we're not seeing initiative sells yet do anything with it. And so it's just a range rotation between 27 and 320, 327 and 320. I mean, it's still like 7 points on ES, which is good, but I'm hoping for the breakdown. Another bid, very reactive at our 710s on ES, no change. Same with our 20s on ES, no change. I was hoping for it with the break of our structure to the lows, with this liquidity above us. Right, we have these buyers who are a bit offsides here, but we're not seeing an initiative seller step down, so I don't know. We might need to take higher first. I don't know. It's midday. It's hard. Just chop literal barcode. But I was hoping that we would at least come down to test this liquidity at like 300, 305. But again, like if they just don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm stopped there. We're just gonna do the full rotation up off the failure. I'll look to reinitiate if we take and then rotate back below. But until then, I'm just going to let it go all the way back up to our highs. We need a better trap, clearly. There wasn't enough desire. Should rotate up to our highs. Trap will look for this again. Watch to see if we can find an initiative bid here on retest. Until I see this like get taken and then sell side step below this, it's not worth. Not in the midday. This would have been a great trade if it was like, I don't know, 10:30, 11. But we gotta wait for a bit more before we can actually do anything with it, sadly. There was a really good setup there with us being able to fade the edge with that offer stepping down. But like, if they don't want to initiate below our 710s and our 320s, like we're gonna go back up. It just is what it is. Full range rotations, just pushing back up into our 44. If you played the flip off of our 35 stop, this is be our first risk off as we push into these highs again, top of range. We have potential to keep going here because of that trapped liquidity at our lows, but you should risk off here into known liquidity first and then see what happens. Right, always take off some into known liquidity and then look to see if we can get the continuation off of the failure at our lows. Again, just full range rotation off of the failure to hold our mid as resistance. Rotation back up. I covered my stop there from 27 to 35 with 35 to 44. I just want to show that because I think it's worth, like when we're looking for a breakdown and it doesn't happen, like my risk is very clear. Like this was what we were watching for them to take. They failed, right? So I have to now play on the understanding that we're just rotating back up to our balance highs. So all I'm doing is covering for the amount that I just lost here from this stop out. That's all. And then we're just playing back up to our last known liquidity where we sold on the last attempt from our flip, right? From 27 hold, and then our rotation up to 44s. With this trapped liquidity below, we have potential to go higher, right? So I want to leave a runner to try, but like I want you to understand that like this is a very clear objective level of where I'm looking for sellers to try to be if we're going to go down and break this balance low, right? They tried, they failed, we bid instead, and then we rotated up, got back in, and then, you know, took highs. But like objectively, like this was where we needed to see them hold, and then we needed to then break below and then go for that continuation. That didn't happen, right? So we stop out and then we look for the rotation back up to our known levels. We know we're in balance. We failed at our edge low. So we either are going to hold through the entire balance rotation back to the highs and then stop out at our highs, or we make a clear mechanical decision, right, to stop at our objective level and then play the rotation back to the highs and then watch to see what happens from there. We know where it's going, right? Like value failed to shift, so we're going to go back up to our known value, which is here to here. It just is what it is. What's up, Allie? Offer still here into 44, no change. Same thing with NQ into our highs. This 860 is still just it. There's nothing above. Just rotating back down to our lower range again. Retesting. Back below into our 27s, watching, see if we hold that, and then rotate back through down to 20s again, or if we can bid this edge, get back over. It's just balance, boys. Like, it is what it is. FZT Alex? Never heard of him. I'll have to look him up. Actual rectangle trading. Huge. FZT. Let me look up this boy. FZT. Does he have like a YouTube channel or something? Oh, Flow Zone Trader? Is that what that is? New 15s. Sell side trying to initiate here again at our lows. 27 holding. Trying to push back below, back down to our 20. We need to see that sweep below 20s for this to like be real though. Like, I'm telling you, it has to happen. Or we're screwed. You can see them trying to initiate here again. We did a full rotation of our range on NQ. They're trying to initiate back down in our lows. We need to get below 720 on the 710, 720 here on NQ and our 320, 316 on ES, or we will bounce these lows again. Watch to see what happens as we push down. Good sweep so far. Let's see if they can defend it. This is where we want to see them shift. Come on, they can do it. Right, so the failure and the last attempt means that we have to seek higher, and then we can try to reinitiate with new liquidity, right? Like that's the whole process here is like if the balance is going to hold the lows, we have to rotate back up, see if we can do something new, and then we'll try to reinitiate now that we have new buyers trying to engage here in the mid to high, right? Now we need to see if they can try to flip this low. It's the most important part now to try to do this. So we need to see an initiative seller step below this 320 for actual something new. It is so important. I cannot stress it enough. Like we need them to initiate here. Yes, very good reoffer. But we got to see them sweep this shit.
Google says they're expanding Gemini in Chrome to Africa, the Middle East, and more.
I took off 5 into 16 from 27. And now just watching to see if we can get this continuation. I want Russell to follow suit. Russell will help lead if we can hold this pivot. And then next target would be 307, 300 area on ES and 307. I'm sorry, yeah, and then NQ 622, like ETH low area, if we can take that out. Just want to see them really try to engage here. If we fade this again, I'm going to be so sad. Holding value so far of that candle. And this is POC on ES, right? Where we expect that bid to be at the 16, which is why we took off our first risk. We just want to see now, like, can we defend? As we lift into this seller, and then can we then shift below for that continuation down? Russell should help here as we push back in if it's going to do it. God, we need them to defend this.
At the top of the hour, we get the US 10-year note auction reopening, with the US looking to sell $39 billion with a prior high yield of 4.468%, prior bid cover 2.4. So it's like take a look at then some analyst notes. JP Morgan strategist in the late Tuesday report says unattractive valuations and difficult macro environment suggest additional concessions will be needed for the auction to be digested smoothly. Latest CFTC position data shows speculation net short 183k ultra 10-year note futures and net short 830k 10-year note futures, potential sources of current demand for the auction.
There's just no desire, man. This sucks. It's coming right back up to my break even 27s. Just full rotation off of the failure to low. Well, 27 to 16 was good, but now we have to wait again, which sucks. I mean, it's just a failure. It is what it is, right? There's no follow through. We can see the auction stayed on this candle. They got absolutely ruined into 16 there. Right? And then the bid stepped up and rotated us. So we'll watch to see if they initiate here again into our value to POC of our previous candle into 27 to 35. And if they can take in size, if they can hold here and defend, great. But we then need to still get below. So we'll watch to see if they take in size here as we push in. But that's the only thing we can do now. Same thing with NQ. It's the same. We're watching to see if sell side sits here now into our value to POC of our previous candle from this hold of our lows, right? Bid was able to step up, get us back into this range. We watch to see if they're willing to absorb here and then take out lows, or if we're just going to do another full rotation and there's no change. Bid trying at 10s and our 20s. Just makes sense. This is our bottom of our little oscillation here in between our two pivots that we just chopped in here. So just gotta wait. Can we flip back below, or is this bid now present here on the hold? Remember,
5 minutes ago to begin the 10-year note auction. Prior bid cover of 2.4. Prior high yield of 4.468%.
All right, following our plan so far, held our 60s on NQ, rotating down. Same thing with ES into our 27 to 35, rotating. Need to be able to see the sweep below our previous bid here. It's the same rotation again, so just we need to see desire below, or it's going to be the same liquidity, same everything. We need to see them step below and offer it. No desire. That's fine. I mean, it's still like a really solid range train where we've identified both participants, but I was really hoping that we'd get this. If we have to sit here for an hour until 2, I'm going to be really sad at the market. But, you know, that would be a classic mid-afternoon. Which I will not be staying for if that is the case. Because I've literally so many times I could do this range trade and then stop out, break even on my last contract, looking for the continuation. That doesn't happen before I lose my mind. Later, man. Again, I think it's like pretty obvious what we're seeing on the higher time frame. The problem is like trying to initiate on the lower without having, you know, this entire range as your stop is the hard part. But like initiation wise, like we know that this guy's offside outside of value above. We know that we just put in a lower high and trapped this liquidity here, right? All we're looking for is for the initiative player at these lows where we know that this participant is located who's willing to defend, right? So we're just transacting between this participant here and this participant here. The key is that we know that this is our catalyst above. We know that these guys are offsides, and until we can shift above and hold this, it's not bullish, right? It's just balance. What we know is that again, we've pushed lower, we've taken liquidity, we've trapped
1
in the
minute to go
highs,
active within
we're
when you
pushing
shoot
back
for the
down.
10-year note
We're
auction.
now trying to defend this edge here once again. So now we've trapped on 2 attempts, and now we're looking to see if they can now hold here. And then if we can see that initiative sweep down, I think we do head down into this 400, this 540, 520. But again, it's just about seeing that desire below this. If we can't get that, it's going to be very tough short term, and we might need to wait. But like the auction is very clear in itself. Like we can see these participants very easily. The issue is again, like we need to see initiation below this guy. The same thing on ES, right? We know these highs are good and worth playing around, but we haven't been able to
10
see
seconds.
anyone willing to take into this low, into our 16. They've just been bidding this. So until we can actually see that pop, it's going to be pretty rough. Let's see if they do it here on this new 15 or if it's the same
4.539% for the one issued. Again, 4.539%.
Watching our reoffer as we push into this off of another hold here of our lows.
US Energy Secretary Wright, when asked about Trump's comments, says he's not aware of the US taking oil out of Iran.
You see, it's just the same initiative buyer here, same rotation back up to highs. We need to see them take here and then rotate below, or it'll be the same thing. So when we go back over to this chart, let me turn on our drawings again. This is where we'll be watching to see if they trap, right? This is what I just drew. Incredibly important that we find this participant here for that lower high and then can shift down from it if it's going to do something new. Same thing here on ES. We just talked about this. We need to see them hold and then initiate down, trapping into this for another lower high.
Surely expecting the rest of the data for the 10-year note auction.
Without that, it's not, we don't have the context that we need for the trade to make sense if they're not going to initiate in these areas that we care about. Bringing down that offer, right? Offer lowering. We need to see them lower below, right, where the active bid is, and then that allows for that sweep for our liquidity. All right, I'm gonna go back to this chart now, see what we're doing. So you can see like these guys are pretty screwed into these highs, at least short term, right, into our rotation.
High yield for the 10-year note
Just
auction
watching our edge back down into our
4.538%
bid that's
of
down here.
4.538%, with the US selling $39 billion in 10-year notes and awarding 71.34% of bids at high. Bid cover of 2.57. Primary dealers take 9.46%, direct 12.32%, and indirect 78.21%.
Balance persisting still. POC shifting on NQ here at 50 to 60. That's big.
That's still 3.1 base points.
Let's see if we can build above it or if it holds.
US Treasury Secretary Bessent on X says the US is disrupting procurement networks that support Iran.
We've taken in like, I don't know, 2,100 contracts, maybe even like 2,600 into that 320 on ES. That's like decent size that's been taken in down there. So this looks like a failure to me still. No ability to hold, no ability to look below. I'm not initiating. I'm waiting. This looks like another full rotation trade to me, personally. But
The UK mulls tax changes for members of entities such as LLCs. The UK seeks to ease high effective tax rate for some individuals.
just watch your rebid of 60s. 60s should give you a trade up to 800 if we're going to hold 50 to 60 on NQ. Watching this like POC here. If we're going to flip this, just do the full rotation back up. Keeping an eye on it. Do they trap here, or can we hold it? This is the test. Back down to our 20, 27.35 continues to maintain. Watching for bid here again. No change in our range. No initiative above or below. Just chop. They need to be able to do something with this. Holy shit.
The Treasury sanctions some China and Hong Kong-based individuals.
Same rotation as before, like we talked about. There's no change. I cannot believe how long we've been here. It's impressive. $27 to 20 again off of offer, stepping back down into our 20 to 16 where the bid has been. Let's see if they continue to hold or if we can actually flip and sweep off this lower high here. There's been no change in any of the things that we've talked about. Everything remains true and the same. Need to see this look below and hold for more. They're taking in the same size into that 27 to 35 on ES. No change. Bid is here though. Need to flip. Then we can go to our targets. Until then, right, like this is the bottom of the range. Same thing on NQ, 60 to 670, 760 to 670. Got to take out that 670 low for moves down to 620, 600. Low look below. Let's see if we can hold it. We want to see them aggressively hold this reoffer and push this thing down if we're going to do it. Any look back above is a failure. See if we can get this reoffer. We're pushing into first target here based off our pathing and where we expected this offer to sit. We just need to see them now hold. Again, first target here on ES into 307 and NQ here into 620. And then we'll watch to see if they do a reflexive bid back up to 670 and our 316, 320 area on ES. Just to retest this where the bid was resting before. And then let's see if we get this continuation down for the larger move that we've been anticipating. Again, like they're like it's very clear what they're trying to do. It's just in slow fucking motion because it's midday. Again, that was first target on ES. We're watching for a reoffer now of like the 16 to 20 area on pushback up with Russell. Finding a little bit of a bid. Watching to see what we do. Same thing with NQ as we push back up into 70, 710. Just watch to see what we do. It's literally it. Can we offer our low and then continue downwards? If so, great. If not, then we trap and then we rotate back up. Great. There's your reoffer. Take off your first risk into the lows, engineer on liquidity, and see if we can get the breakdown or if this is going to
The
just
SpaceX
consolidate.
IPO is now said to be more than 4 times oversubscribed.
Yeah, man. That's why I don't do it. Just let that market like figure itself out a little bit. I mean, if you have a plan, like we talked about before, like it's fine. If you've got like if you've been watching Globex, I think you can trade it. But I mean, it's just the market is just smooth sailing from like 10 to 11:30, man. It's fast. It's decisive. Yeah, most of the times, asterisk. But like trades like feel good. It's not this garbage that we're doing right now where it's like this waiting game where it's like maybe I'll jump, like but not just do it. Just in the morning it's just a little too volatile to me because there's so much news that drops in the first 30 minutes and you have like all of the larger participants rotating, right? So there's a lot of volume. It can be really good though, but just I don't think that you need to trade it to make money. And so like if you feel like there's too many outside variables that are outside of your control with like news and with like larger banks or firms that are repositioning, into the open, to me that's like there are way too many unknowns. So like we might trade around our levels, but I'm gonna probably get like wicked out personally. So I'd rather just wait for it to settle a little bit and then that news kind of fall off and then we can trade the aftermath. This is like the worst continuation I've ever seen in my life. I hate midday. Holy shit. I'm about to leave and just let this run. Go walk the doggo. Yes, I completely agree. And I think like a lot of I don't know other platforms very well, but like Tradeify specifically, like if you're looking at your monthly overview, it'll show you your best periods and your worst periods, right? Like I talk about this all the time, but instead of like increasing your quote unquote edge of like your entries and your actual setups, right? Just by limiting the amount of idiotic garbage trades that you take in bad periods of time, right? Like eliminate as many stupid trades, impulsive trades, as you can. Your win rate and your profitability just goes up as an immediate, outcome of that decision. So if you can limit your trading to the period where you have the best understanding and things work out the best, and you can see that based off of your P&L, like, oh, wow, I trade really well between 10 to 12. Maybe I should be only looking to trade between 10 to 12. Oh, I seem to be doing really poor between 1 to 2:30 p.m. Maybe I shouldn't be looking to trade big size during that period, right? Like just make a window based off of where you're seeing your profits and make a window where you're seeing your losses and don't trade during that window, right? Like you don't need to change anything. You don't need to find a new strategy. You just need to be able to limit yourself from, from yourself. It's like one of like the easiest skills. I mean, I want to say easy. It's not easy to learn, but it's easy to how do I word this? It's one of the most efficient, I think that's a better word, ways to become much more successful and much more profitable very quickly is by just limiting the amount of trades you're taking, right? And also limiting the time period in which you're trading. That best serves your edge, right? You are your worst enemy. You're the one who, made a really solid first trade in the morning for $500 and said, that's not enough money. I can do more. And then gave it all back and round tripped and then blew up your account, right? You're your own worst enemy. The average person per day in America makes $250 per day. And you weren't happy with that by clicking one button and then leaving for the rest of the session because of your greed, right? Like you need to remind yourself that like you are sometimes you got to cash out, right? Or the house will win the more time you spend. So like again, like this is why like journaling and like reviewing is so important, because you won't be able to find like those really easy things that you can change that take away a lot of your L's, right? Without doing that. But as soon as you do, you're like, oh yeah, wow, that was stupid. Like, why did I keep doing that to myself? I could have just left and I would have been so much more profitable. Yes, later, man. All right, I'm probably out of here as well. I'll leave the footprint chart open and just stream it on auto, I think. But I'm done for the day. I'm gonna stream in Discord itself, not on YouTube, and then I'll just have like the automated footprint on, and I'll leave that running. But I'm leaving my house. But I'll leave it on like this, and then if you want to watch it for Globex or for the afternoon, I will have it on. Yeah, I'm just in a runner here, looking to see if we can get continuation. If not, right, we're just gonna rotate right back up. But I don't need to sit here for this. And again, I'm just gonna launch a stream, streaming my trading view in Discord for the rest of the day, while I'm not here. And if you want to use that, go for it. If not, that's okay as well. But I like the potential here for a continuation down if we can just just get through it. I want to see us down at 540, 520 on NQ into this liquidity. I like this breakdown. It looks very clear that if we're going to come back up, it's going to be fuck, I just moved this chart. My drawings were still there. Okay, well, I can fix this. This is what we saw, right? This was the reference. So we're trying to build here. We're trying to look below and hold. We're trying to do the thing, right? We're just looking for this secondary leg now. Let's just go through this setup again of like what we saw. We saw balance form, very clear balance with the bid getting absorbed into the high. We saw the offer stepping down slowly but surely. Right, so we've got this guy's offsides. We've pushed down. We've made a lower high, trapped liquidity here, pushed down, trapped liquidity here, and now pushed down. So we're watching now to see if we can trap liquidity here and then push down. I know, it's crazy. But like that is the objective. So I'm watching to see if we can take into this and then get a sweeper to, oops, wrong tool. A sweeper to step through here and take in this size and then sweep through down to this 540, 520 area. That would be the dream. Failure to do this, right, to establish and a flip back above this as a bid would just, you know, initiate a full rotation back up to these highs. So we really want to see if we can maintain this this low here. I don't know. We'll see what happens. They're bidding at first target, and we're looking for that reoffer, right? So we're watching to see how we do, what we do into this liquidity here, as we push into 680 to 720. If they can absorb the buyer here, we're in a great position for another big leg down. We just need to see them take out this low like this. So just keep an eye on this area where we have the automated zone being drawn for you, the red box, where we're looking for liquidity to be taken. And then let's see if they can trap into that. And then if we can rotate down, or if that's all we get, right? We just went down to our wick low here and held. But yeah, that's all I really got for you. All right, I'll be here tomorrow. But again, like there's just no point sticking
US
around.
Energy Secretary Wright
We're just
says
gonna
the US is
chop.
to rejoin the International Energy Forum.
All right. Again, I'll leave these charts open, but I'm gonna go walk the dog. Peace.